But basically, man, I ain't gonna be on here too long. I'm actually at work, and I'm actually finna walk this parking lot for a minute. Be on here, talk a little bit. I just need a little stick, so put my phone on. I don't even think we use this thing. Yeah, I end up going to this Amazon store. Got this little stick. I don't even like using these craps. But it got a stand. This is actually a stand at the bottom. You can turn the bottom into a try, put your phone on there. Might be good for something else later, but I don't think it'll be a good idea with me using it while I'm actually walking. I should have bought the one for my neck, around my neck so I can get both my hands. But basically, man, it's gonna be quick. When it come down to it, say the least, man. Get my little walk in today. Oh, dang, I forgot. I gotta add my little stuff in. Let me do that right quick while I'm here live. Alright. Yeah, put my stuff on. Man, y'all see I had to cut my beard and all this stuff off, man. Got the little baby face, you know. Mustache, had to line that up. Dang, my hands ashy than mud. Put some lotion on. But yeah, man, just get my little exercise in. Downloading this stepper now, so count my steps on how I'm walking and stuff. Ah, get some of that fresh air. Hey, sometimes you gotta slow down, man. You sitting up here all the time running. Sometimes you gotta smell the roses. And even if I don't, do this every day for a long time, just a little short period of time every day, it helps. Come back on your food, you know, doing a little walking, calisthenics, that helps too, Do a little calisthenics, man. Do jumping jacks, push-ups, sit-ups. You ain't gotta go to the gym, hit it so hard. Hey man, you gotta be able to lift your own weight. If you can't do a push-up, you know, going to the gym trying to pump that iron and stuff, hey, that ain't where it's at if you can't even do a push-up. I mean, you wasting your time at the gym. That repetition, man. Building strength in your arms, doing those push-ups, that's like so many people. Now, granted, you might need to join the gym due to the fact that with you joining the gym, you'll actually have someone there that you can kind of motivate yourself and run off of too. That's how it be sometimes, because if you ain't got the motivation, you looking around and seeing everybody else working out and doing stuff, that's gonna get you in the mindset of doing the same. So, what's going on, Sugar Daddy? So, the crazy part is, just one time a day, man, just get out there and do something. Hey, walk, push-ups, sit-ups. The crazy part is, if I'm not seeing nobody doing it, then I ain't gonna do it. If I ain't seeing nobody pushing me or, telling me I need to go work out, I need to go. Why wait till this stuff get too crazy? Why wait when I'm in the bed at the hospital? They telling me my pressure too high. They telling me I need to stop eating all this food. Why not just stop eating it now? Don't wait till the last minute till they telling you, man, it's unfortunate. What's going on, Go P? It's unfortunate that we got to tell you that your body's this way and you won't live to see tomorrow. You won't live the next 5 years if you keep eating and going the way you eat. I was just talking to my brother today. He said he had a coworker. Dude had an aneurysm. Like he had stuff going on with him. He didn't want to tell anybody. He ended up, dying. And he was like, man, it was just crazy. Like, dude knew he was gonna meet his own demise at the rate he was going and doing things, and he just kept doing it. Same thing, I know this guy, he was just big. Like, he knew at the rate he was eating, it was gonna be harmful to his health. To the point where he had to get on a, what's it called, a PAPS machine for breathing at night. He was like uh, shortness of breath, couldn't breathe in the middle of the night, was choking himself, like stuff like that, man. You don't want to wait till the last minute and be like, man, yeah, let me go ahead and get myself together. Hope the wind ain't coming in too crazy. Let me get myself together when I'm 300 pounds, when I'm 600 pounds, when I'm 800 pounds. I gotta get my life together. You know, start getting your life together now. You don't have to sit here and say, well, things are bad. I need to get my life together. Do it when things are okay. Do it when things are good. That's like one of the biggest issues that a lot of us have. We always think we got time. Like, nope, that ain't where it's at. We don't really have time as much as we think we do. Because if we did, you know, we could do whatever we want and then get that time all back. You're not getting time back like that. That's like failed, wasted relationships. You know, preferably, going against his men for this one. You know, women that been in a relationship for a long time with a guy and he ain't got no intentions on marrying her, bro, just leave her alone. Like, just let her go, dog. Tell her, like, I'd rather be upfront. Man, I don't want to deal with you and then just go on about my business. I mean, hey, just most of the time, you'll get more of a better response when you're talking in a sense of being truthful. Because the crazy part is this, that woman might say, well, I'm not at a point where I want to get married. I'm like you. I just want to have fun. So y'all might even kick it out. But if not, let her go to the next guy. Let her be happy. It's like that. Misery loves company. Why would I let you go ahead and get you in a good life, good relationship, and you go in and get married, but you a good woman, I just don't want to marry you. Same thing apply for these women. I was laughing because I seen a skit with a guy. He was saying that he was talking to a little kid, and the kid say, my mama say, you no, he said, my daddy say you a trick. I ain't never seen you do no magic trick. He's like, what you say, boy? And then my mama, she said, the only reason she like you, because you good for the first. It's like, women do that too. They'll sit here, mess with a guy for his money. And then in the end, hey, I ain't never really liked you anyway. That ain't your son, no way. I'm like, stuff like that, man. Like, people, they got an old saying, and a lot of these old sayings are kind of cliche, but do unto others as you want them to do unto you. So when it comes down to it, you rather put somebody in a situation where they have to, they don't necessarily have to, but you provoke people to a point to where they will literally do something and spend their time in prison. And I've seen situations like that where that woman knew that wasn't that man's kid, and a situation got to the point where they were so mad, they just said, that ain't your child anyway. And the dude just snapped, even if it was his and she was trying to spite him. But why would you even say that unless you really knew that that wasn't his kid? Just snap. And dude went to jail, everything behind all that. And in the end, it wasn't his kid. He went to jail. She went on by her life, dealing with the next man, doing the same thing. You got to find that value in yourself. Just speaking from self with men and women, it comes a point, man, you got to cut this foolishness out. I mean, I talked about it yesterday. Like, I'm a grown man. I don't have time to be playing games with women. If I was in a situation with me, I'm not going to sit here and have a point to where, if I wasn't married, that I'm going to be sitting here trying to stay in a relationship with a woman that really doesn't mean, no good for me. If she's doing little things, either test me, I'm grown. You grown. Why you got to test do I like you or not? We both need to communicate, talk, and have, conversation. I ain't gonna say the person, but I was over on the channel, and it was a situation back and forth was a misunderstanding. The misunderstanding was due to another party. You know, the communication. That's like the biggest thing with a lot of people in their relationship is communication. One, and then you got to realize with two, when the situation spins off due to a lot of people with that, lack of. And I say this a lot. It's survivor mode out here. Some people be in relationships in here for the survivor mode. They need somewhere to stay. I mean, it was crazy. Uh, Flawless, Dr. Martin, Black Excellence channel, and he was talking about this young man that he met at a coffee shop, this and that forth. So he was gaming with a girl, moved her into his house, and tried to be a good friend to her. Then got her a job. She said it was too far. Then tried to get her another job, but she ultimately found out like, man, this chick don't want to work. She basically just want to come to my house, and I don't even think they messed around in there. But if they did, that still doesn't change anything. But then she just wanted to lay up in his house, not work, game, and just be thankful that I guess she's in his presence. And I'm like, wow. I helped her move all her stuff. Personally, I would have never did that. I probably would have helped you move your stuff in storage, shot you some money for that, and then that's it if we was cool. But the point of it was, she tried to take advantage of the situation. And dude was trying to help her out. We get that on both sides, where men and women both try to take advantage of situations. And let's face it, I mean, in these spaces, we bump heads all the time as men and women. But that understanding that, you wrong, you just wrong. And that's why I try not to get into most of these debates with people, because I'm like, I'm not finna take side with a dude that's wrong. You literally telling another guy something stupid or irresponsible. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to be involved in it. Because at the end of the day, 8 o'clock, man, that's going to make me be to a point where I look stupid. I'm agree to you saying that you had to smack a woman because she was disrespectful when you could have just walked away. There's consequences behind your actions. Now you got to go to jail. And no matter what that woman said, they say sticks and stones may break your bones, but words don't hurt you. Words don't hurt to a degree, but they cut deep. And when it comes down to it, start my truck up. But they do cut deep. And when it comes down to it, a lot of people, they have issues. Stick in here. But, when it comes down to it, like I say, the words, they cut deep. A lot of people have their issues with situations that they needed to mend themselves. My thing is this: if I got an issue with a woman because of something that she do, I'ma talk to her about it. If it don't work out, I'm gone. I'm quite sure a reasonable woman would do the same thing, because there's no reason for me to try to argue and fight with you when it's pointless. It doesn't make any sense. That kept me in a situation of not having kids all these years. It kept me in a situation of, not putting myself in a point to where I would be in a, bad or horrible relationship or something like that. Every relationship, I mean, we don't want to say this. All the relationships that we've been in, we actually accepted them. Because You know, when the situation would turn bad, because let's face it, everybody shows a veil of themselves in a perfect way to a degree. And when that situation goes bad, you can choose to walk away. But who naturally walks away from that? Because what? You're getting something out of the deal. That's the only reason you stay. Excuse me. But if you're not getting nothing out of the deal, you can walk away easily. You know, if there's a situation with me and a person, I don't like this person no more, me and this person are always fighting, I can easily walk away from that relationship. You know, and just using me and my wife for an example. Me and my wife, we started off like, I'm starting to think that this whole friendship thing started off as, you know, uh, knowing each other to a degree before we get married or before we start getting in a relationship. It helps. Say the least. Take me a little break. I'm about to jump off here. I ain't even hit 20 minutes yet. That's going back out there. Yeah, walk a little more, at least about 20 minutes. Gotta hit this dock. But, you know, when me and my wife got into just knowing each other, it made the relationship a whole lot better. Just jumping in, trying to have sex, like, I would never, unless this girl shows me that she's that type of woman, like, oh, she's trying to have sex on the first night. That's not even a thing, dude. Why would I end up saying, I'm just gonna smash this chick on the first night because I'm that man? Nah. It, you know, I wouldn't even try to put myself in that situation. You know, Pac said it best, I don't want it if it's that easy. You know, and to a degree, if a woman is that easy for me to have sex with, so-called dudes got game. It ain't no such. I ain't. There's no guy can talk a woman out of their panties. They literally wanted to have sex with you. I was on Roger Report. Roger said it best. He talked to a lot of women, and most women say within 5 minutes they know if they want to have sex with you or not. There's some type of persuasion that's there. I seen this one video. This was called Smash or Pass, and there was a dude. He was there with his pants sagging, and the woman came up to him. She's like, "Pull your pants up, pull your pants up." So he sit up there and zipped up her, I think, jumper, because it was like right between her breasts, and he zipped it up a little bit below her neck, and she was like, "Ooh, no condom." And I'm laughing. I'm like, just because you tried to check him and he corrected you, that's the man for you. Like, that's how she looked at it, as low. Oh, he'll get the business. So when it comes down to it, it's that woman that wants. You can say, man, I talked her out of the panties and all this. She didn't want to do it. She pretty much was on the fence. That lady probably want to mess with you, but she don't want you to look at her a certain type of way. We're not in the society that we so-called preach and try to be in, because the simple fact is this. We know that men and women, they're looked at a certain way. To a degree. You have a man that doesn't work and is not a provider. Women are not going to look at him as somewhat of a candidate to marry and to spend the rest of their life with. Just like certain guys, to a degree, think that if a woman is out here, having sex like that, she's not wifey material. So that's why we have these standards on a lot of dating and relationships. Like I said, I go back to that society standards, to where we always, put things in the mind frame of dealing with society. They tell us how to, garner our relationships. Look at society now telling us that, far as women, they need to have hot girl summers. Women need to mess with men for their money. Women need to approach guys accordingly, or this type of way. That's how the mood is for the women. For the men, is don't get married. All these women play games. There's no good women out here. I'm like, don't that sound like something back in the day we used to hear? Where the good men at? It's like a lot of these sayings that women were saying, now the men are saying it. And it's crazy now. Like you literally hearing men, like I heard on Fresh and Fit talking about why they can't get free drinks in the club because the men made it to where the women get free drink because women make men pay money. The club is benefiting off of pretty girls or ladies in general that look appealing to some men so they can pay for the drinks and then the club get money. Why do you think they have that ladies free all night? To bring the men out. The men are going to spend the money. Society has already been ramping us like this for years. So when it comes down to this, it's like we always thinking like, oh man, as men it's hard. Yes, it is hard. I don't know why men think, well, why can't we have it easy? You're not going to have it easy. Like in existence, like how's it going to be beneficial for you to lay up in the house, don't work, your wife come home. On average, most men say they don't know how to cook. So are you going to do the reverse of the roles? Are you going to be in the house cooking and cleaning while your wife is out there working hard? Like, what men are going to do that? I got to go back and see that. I don't remember, depending on which one. But it comes down to it, man. Like, dudes are complaining about some things. I'm like, are you going to reverse these roles? Are you going to let the woman be the provider, but you still be the protector and let her run the house while you cook and clean and do it? I mean, because it's funny that I'm saying that because Bolo TV, he was having that conversation talking about this one guy. He was it was a newscast and it was a black man, white man, black woman, white woman. And the white woman's actually married and she was saying that, yeah, you know, women do make a lot of money. But the crazy part when it came down to a man who makes less money than her, she won't allow it. The white woman got quiet. She said, the black woman was saying that she won't date a man that makes less money. And then it gets into that whole bus driver theory. Would you date a bus driver? You know, what if men were to go around saying that I wouldn't date a woman unless she made six figures? I wouldn't date a woman unless she's a lawyer, went to college in some high profile situation. It's like the best information that I've listened to talking about relationship is would you date yourself? For a lot of women, they know they want. It was a situation to where this one woman said she had 3 kids from 3 different baby daddies. It was I think O'Shea had the video out, and he was he was doing a reaction to Kendra. He was doing a reaction to Kendra show, and Kendra had the lady talking to her, and the lady said she got three baby daddies, and she don't want no man that got multiple kids from multiple women. And she said, well, you got 3 kids from 3 baby daddies, so why won't you date a man that has multiple kids and multiple baby daddies? Nah, that's too much drama. So you're essentially bringing the drama to the relationship, but you're letting this man know that he's bringing too much drama if he brings in a woman or several women with several kids. And so that's when the whole thing comes about, would you date yourself? A lot of people won't. That is the crazy part. You know, you might say this, you have to try all this other stuff. A lot of these people won't date themselves because why? They know that the evil and all this craziness that they do. I gotta get out. Now man, about 25. Might as well stay to 30. I'm burning this gas in this truck. But would you date yourself? I might even do that tomorrow, or I might tell Miss T to do that topic. Would you date yourself? I mean, it's crazy in this relationship, man, that a lot of people have these questions, issues about things. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I know I'm a good dude. I don't be lying. I don't be acting crazy. I lie sometimes. I ain't gonna lie, but at the same time, I don't be doing no extra lying, no craziness. But the point is, I'm a good dude. So I would literally know, with me being the person I am, I know. Like I always tell my wife that, I'm a shoo-in, dude. You marrying me was the best thing that happened in your life. I always tell her that, joking around and stuff. Tell her, hey, you marrying me was the best thing that happened to your life. Because like I tell her, I'm a good guy. You know, I know I'm a catch. And when it come down to it, hey, when situations, present itself, I already know, like, man, I got a lot of, knowledge, a lot of good to give. Even though I'm going to the doctor, stop going to see little things, get on my nerves. But I know I'm a good dude. I know I love kids, love taking care of kids. Tell you what's going on. And when it comes down to it, it's a lot of times that people, they will love somebody else, but they won't love themselves. It's like that whole premise that I was just saying. Would you date yourself? A lot of people won't, because they know the evil inside. Man, the stuff that a lot of crazy people talk about, they push, like, man, it really shows to a degree how sinister, I can't even really put my hands on just how wild people are. In the instance, a lot of people have bad situations they put themselves in, and then they try to fault other people for their mistakes. You came out here, you live like this, but now you want to be a representation to show people how, bad men are. You put yourself in this situation. You made bad choices, and now ain't no good men out here. Or you put yourself in a situation dating all these women without a purpose. Now you're saying ain't no good women out here. There's a lot of guys who dated women you knew without a shadow of a doubt you literally had no business with that type of woman. No business. Then you have these women, same thing. You knew you shouldn't have been with this guy. The way you was raised in your house, the way your father was. Most of the women that had their father in their life, they end up picking sometimes some of the most horrible men just to live on that wild side because of what their friends were saying. I got a family member like that. She was determined to try to get her a type of man that's not bad, but in her mind was okay of a guy because he, carried himself like this. He wasn't full thugged out, but he walked around with the strap. So, he wasn't out there killing, but he looked like he was about that life, the so-called kill. And then when she got with the dude that was the killer, it was crazy because she got with a guy, I'm talking about, this guy like murdered people, went to jail. He actually turned himself in for her. And when he got out, he thought they was going to have a relationship. But then she wasn't in the thug guys no more. But the funny part was, he wasn't thugging no more. This guy started going to church, changed his whole life. Like, he would literally try to call her, and he knew her address, so he was sending her letters from jail and stuff, telling her how he changing his life and all this stuff. And I'm tripping out, like, this what you want. You had the dude that was best of both worlds. He was this thugged out dude that literally changed and became the, I guess, square, whatever that people, say, but she didn't want to deal with that. I'm like, I don't get it. This is what you wanted at first. now you got what you wanted, but he's converting to this guy that you ultimately dream of, and she didn't want him. I'm like, dude, crazy. And then same effect with this guy. Like, this guy literally had this chick. She loved him to death. He was her first. So she didn't know nobody but him. She let other women talk to her out of a good relationship due to the fact that these women didn't have a, and I talked about this the other day. These women didn't have a relationship, but they literally talked this one lady out of a relationship due to the fact that she never been with anybody else. How you know that this is the best thing for you, or all you had is his thing, and you ain't had no other sizes, and why you don't explore your options, and like, and when it just crazy. And she kept going back to the guy after they broke up, and eventually the guy just had enough of the back and forth, monkey branching around, to the point where he was just like, man, nah, I'm good. And then when she ended up having that kid, it was just crazy. Joy, what's going on? I got to get in contact with you because, still want my t-shirt. Still, I got some designs. I want some t-shirts from you. I'm going to get them made. But yeah, it just like crazy. Like, we go through these situations, and the crazy part about relationship, nobody really find time for themselves. Like I said, if you would date yourself in the state of mind you in, the situations that you move and groove in, then okay. Then you should be ready for a relationship. But if it gets to a point where you always hitting these rock in the plate, rock meets the road, or whatever the saying is, the fork meets the road, to where you having these bad decisions, a lot of people don't have time for themselves. I've heard some women on the panel say that, I need time for myself, so I'm not dating. Most dudes are doing it not by choice. It's because women don't want to be with them. This should be the best time for most of these guys that complain like that to just work on themselves. Like I said, go to the gym. Just because I'm married, that don't mean I need to like cut my health off. I still need to be fit. I still need to, not just for my wife purpose, for me. Like, if I get too big, I'm not gonna be able to work. I'm not gonna be able to move around. Like, one of the biggest things about truck drivers, when you get too big, the issue is you sleeping and, going to sleep over the wheel. That's why I always, mess with guys, and I talk to them and be like, man, watch your weight. That's the main reason why I eat, like right now. Back at it again. This one I got tea in it. I got some yellow root, some burdock, and some ginger and lemon, all in here. I got the carrot juice in here. What is on this top? Oh, some oatmeal. I was about to say, all this stuff on the top. Some oatmeal, but it's a bag of Walmart. I don't know how oatmeal got in there, but it's got some carrot juice. And of course, like usual, yesterday, I didn't finish this, so I brought it back the second day. This is what I'm eating. That's from yesterday. I didn't finish that. And I got some more watermelon. I ain't picking that up. Got watermelon, and I got dang, I ain't bringing my ginger. But I got watermelon. Got my half a case of water because I've been killing that. Then if I get a little more hungry, I got some crackers. But just gonna eat me probably one meal. If anything, if I eat all that, I probably don't eat nothing until I get home. I ain't ate no breakfast yet, and just drinking water. But the thing of it is, like, I gotta do it for my health. A lot of people not taking time out for themselves because they so involved in all this other stuff around people. That be the crazy part, man. Like, relationship You have so much time for a relationship, but you don't have time for yourself. Shout out to Gold Professor with the 9 laws of self-govern. You know, so many people want to do the work, but you got to do the work for yourself. You got to start with you. Law number 3, apply selfishness. You got to apply that selfishness that benefits you. Like, how can you be in a long relationship, a short relationship, when you don't think about yourself? You're not worrying about your health. I gotta put my lotion on. You don't worry about your health. All you do is worry about everybody else. You help out family, you do stuff for neighbors, friends. What about you? How many times have you actually took the necessary precautions in making yourself better? That's the craziest part right there. Like, we so caught up in, like, even like for my wife, I love my wife, but at the same time, if I can't take care of myself and I always take care of her, how good am I? That whole term, happy wife, happy life. How can I make somebody else happy and I'm not happy? That's a bogus statement. Just like yesterday, I was on Sexy Red channel, and the guy was talking about, man, certain men can't handle a strong woman. And I keep pushing that. A strong woman picks up 900 pounds. That's a strong woman. Just because a woman say certain things and be combative, you're a combative woman. That's not strong. Just because a woman, wants to correct or say her input about something, she has a right to. You're strong because you want to state your opinion. That's not strong. So are we going to start yelling men are strong because men are the leaders and protectors of the house? Or that's a strong man? No, that's his job. Like, this whole point, a contingency about people being this way, people being that way. We building over here, what's going on? And that be the craziest part. Like, you're in a situation to where, because this man, he literally has to go to work and provide for his family. That's what he's supposed to do. Now, generally, you get men that don't want to do that. And then it comes to a bad decision down the line that woman says, well, this is not the best opportunity for me. I mean, because let's don't get it twisted. Just like women want to be protected and provided, men want to have that security as well. If they don't feel that protection and, and that love from that house, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to be in the same position as that woman looking to divorce and leave. If I'm scared in my household, I don't need to be there. And another thing too that I always tell people, I'm hard on that. That kids don't run my house. Nope. I was raised that way. My grandparents put me in the mind frame. As long as you stay in this house, you got to abide by my rules. Even as an adult, when I stayed in the house, I still had to abide by the rules. I ain't coming in the house, after 2. I just stay out. Because you got to respect people's house. My cousin, his wife, I always say, God loves the child that has his own. And I laugh at that because, it gets to a point where people get this whole complacent mode to where they running things. They don't care. They like, hey, this is my house. I'm running things. I'm the big dog. I remember it was funny. It was a dude I know. His mom would always tell him that. He ended up getting his own house, and his mom tried to check him in his house, and he was like, didn't you tell me if I get my house, these are my rules in my house? When he put that in her face, she couldn't take it. She was mad. She wanted to raise that flag of her being mom, and no matter what, she was gonna run things. And I was crying laughing because, I mean, that's what the parents say. But then she couldn't take it that he tried to tell her something that he wanted to do or something for his house, and she didn't like it. So she tried to check him like, no, this is how you do this. No, this is my house. This is what I want to do. This is my rule. You know, and it was her rule. She made the rule stating that if you have your own house, this is what you do. But she wanted to pull the elder card. That's why sometimes being elder has its, faults, because she stole my thunder. What's going on? Like that. And they always say that. But sometimes pulling that elder card, it works to a disadvantage, because right is right, is wrong. Like Callie Pooh Bear yesterday was on my channel, and how she was saying how she was arguing with her husband, and her mom took her husband's side and was like, you're wrong. She could have easily said, man, this is my daughter. Right or wrong, I'm riding with my daughter. That's why a lot of times I don't participate in certain panels, and because I know the dynamics of certain channel. I'm not going to sit here and ride with somebody if they wrong. You wrong, you just wrong. And, just getting into this whole fitness thing that I'm talking about, here for the grind, that's the news. I did my walk this morning. I got my vegetables and stuff, but you got to worry about your stress level too. That whole too blessed to be stressed, it's a cliche thing, but why have all these worries, man? Like this person, that person doing stuff. Stay out of it. If it don't involve you, you're gonna put more headache and things on you just because of what? They want to go be out here wilding out crazy. Let that be. No. I tell my wife, like, all this gray hair I got, I always joke and say it's because of my daughter and, now my younger kids, because they hard-headed. I worry about them, but I don't get it to the point where it kill me. My wife, she let almost the least little thing stress her. She be like, how do you deal with all this? Because that's not me. I'm not going to sit here and worry about my kids if they not doing right in school. Like one of my sons got suspended. I got on about that, still get some more whoopings come on, because I don't play. I always tell my kids all the time, if you show your butt in school, I'm going to take your butt when you get home. That's the one thing I've always, was taught that, learned that. You don't disrespect adults. You don't sit here and show out in school, act like you've been somewhere. That's really a thing, because we raised you right, not to go to school wild out and act like that. So don't try to act like you're a part of this herd mentality of kids. Like, you're in trouble all day, every day. Like I told my wife, I'm not stressed out about that. That's why I was like, I'm not really getting on them that much, because I'm not trying to let it worry me. Kids do what they do. That's just kids. They know they do something. They know they made a mistake. They're going to learn from it. And then, because I'm sitting here laughing, just thinking about my aunt yesterday. She was babysitting her cousin. This boy literally 2, running around now. He done got to the point where he's crossing his arms because he mad and turn his head like he don't want to listen to you. And I said that yesterday. It's adopted behavior. The same way how me and my wife argue, and it got to a point to where we don't have to yell at each other. Just talk with each other. It's a learned behavior. A lot of stuff that we do in life, we learning this from our parents, family members, like the Christmas story where the guy, little boy, cuss, and his dad said, where did you learn how to cuss from? He's like, I done heard my dad say cuss words a lot of times, but he ended up blaming it on his friend. We see this stuff and learn this stuff from our family, and we go out here and imitate life with it. Like, this is real. Like, when you meet a woman, you're supposed to, smack on the butt. What's up? What type of woman you do that with? You know, like I was on one panel, Miss T channel, and she said the guys approach her always asking, "Do you smoke? Do you smoke? Do you smoke?" And then if they don't smoke, then what? Same thing with the women. You know, got people approach me. What's up, big dude? I'm laughing. What's up? You know, you already taking a jab, baby. Yeah, I don't care. I, I got tough skin. But then everybody see this headset. Most of 9 times out of 10, it's a truck driver. So they, coming to the approach. You got money. You know how many relationships I was in before I got married when all these women thought I had money and it was a whole thing? Yeah, and I mean, it's crazy, you know. But say the least though, you have these relationships and you have these issues in family. Who can you talk to? Majority of the time, that's the main reason why a lot of us are in the situation we in, because of lack of communication. We don't we don't know how to talk to each other. We don't know how to deal with each other. If somebody approach you wrong versus you just walking away, the whole thing is to fight. Yeah, the whole thing is to fight, you know, and that's the thing. Like, fight or flight. No, you don't have to. You don't have to do that. You can always choose to walk away. You don't need to smoke all the time. It's not relevant. But that's the thing. We're taught that in the household. If your mom and dad or your mom boyfriend, whoever, always fought and argued, you're gonna take that into your relationship because that's how you seen relationships work. Same thing apply to, you know, sex. Same thing apply to money. The way your mom stressed out with the bills. There's so many women that seen how their mom struggled as a single mom, and they went through the revolving door. They literally went through the revolving door. They seen how their mom struggle did it. They went through the same thing. Same thing with men. They seen how their dad struggled paying child support or wasn't really there. Women did the same thing. It's crazy. Like, all this stuff that's going on, we keep seeing it in our family, but like, what are we gonna do about it? Yeah, Coco. I mean, it comes to times with dynamics that, you know, hey, you love who you marry. You know, it gets to a point to where some men just, hey, they love who they love. They gonna respect that person no matter what. Hey, they was raised like that. I know men that was raised not to put a hand on a woman, and a woman to take that to her advantage. Like I say, I'm not a person. I gotta get off in a minute. Wanda's coming on. I'm not the person that fight women, but at the same time, I'm not gonna let a woman disrespect me. I'm not gonna knock her out or nothing like that. But I'm sitting here letting you box me out, and if I grab you, it's not working. If I hit you one time, big as I am, my wife always say, she said, I never fight you. She said, big as you is, you hit me one time, you might knock my teeth out. And I tell her, I was like, yeah, but that's the whole point. Why should you want to hit me? And it comes that to relationships that, you know, because a woman is taught a man is not supposed to hit her, she has free range to hit him. That ain't right. You know, my aunt, she always said it. My mom told me the best. She said, and I'm talking about, I was a little kid. I think I was probably about 5 or so. And we seen this dude getting beat up by this woman. I'm talking about, she was like, don't do that. She said, if a woman hit you, you hit her back. Because 2 things are going to happen. She said, for one, that's going to show her that she better not hit another man, and this might happen. Because I've seen it so many times. Even girls, they will see so many men that would not do nothing to them. They will hit them, not like do all kind of stuff, till it gets to a point where that man damn near fighting for his life. I done seen dudes got knocked upside the head with bottles, all kind of crazy stuff. Because he said, man, I ain't hitting that woman back, man. I don't hit women. But she hit me. And I be like, man, like, all that crazy. It gets to a point to where, man, what are we doing in relationships? What are we doing for ourselves? And it hurts. Yeah. I mean, needless to say, with the Big Mama movement, all these women, you know, to a degree, they try to raise their kids right. But that's the whole point. You raising them the best you know how. That's like me. I'm raising my kids the best I know how. At it again. What's going on? You raising your kids the best you know how. And say the least, I get Miss Patty. The best you know how. You know, I always say this, I'm gonna get rid of y'all. I've been saying this for a minute. I've been saying this since I was in 25 minutes into the video. Nobody, you can be taught how to be a man and a woman. You can be taught how to have a relationship, be taught in marriage, but there's no real standard on that. There's no guided book that shows you the proper way, because life is always changing. Rules of engagement change. You know, that whole traditional and modern, that was the blueprint to live off of. But you have modern women want traditional ways. And then you have traditional men that want modern ways. So the rules of engagement, everything has been flipped up on its head. You know, you want the woman that looks good, and what is they, classy in the streets, but a freak in the sheet. That's that whole term. That don't exist all the time like that for women. Same thing for the men. A man to pay all the bills in the house, and for the woman to be a housewife. That don't exist all the time nowadays. No problem, Miss Patty. That don't exist all the time nowadays, because you got to understand with this, a lot of us, we can't live like that. Most men don't make a lot of money to pay all the bills by themselves. It needs a 2-parent household. This whole 50-50 talk that women shouldn't go 50-50 with a man, well, how is he going to survive? The only way that it'll work like that is if a woman goes to work and just give her whole check to the man, and the man pays all the bills, she don't pay for nothing. He gives her an allowance or something. Other than that, I mean, like, how's that even gonna work? Most men don't, on average, don't make a lot of money. And then, let alone, people want to keep up with the Joneses. I remember they had this, in the South, they have them a lot. It's called shotgun houses. And the reason why they call it the shotgun house is like a double barrel shotgun. Everything is in a straight line. You got the living room. You got a bathroom. Shoot back over to one side. There's a bedroom or something. Then a dining room, kitchen on this side, and another bedroom going to the back of the house. All like a shotgun barrel. You got a long hallway that separates both sides. That was good enough for a family back in the day. It's not no more. Like literally, that man, 3 story. Me and my wife were just talking about Jay-Z and them buying. I think it was a $200 million house. Why? And even the thing with Tyler Perry buying his house, the crazy part, I can kind of see with Tyler Perry. And Tyler Perry, he had way more land, way more rooms and all this stuff and property. Tyler Perry is doing, just like Jay-Z, an investment, building this big old house and selling it for multi-millions dollars later on down the line. Tyler Perry house he built is only $100 million. And when I say only $100 million, because the dude got 40 acres. No, not 40 acres, I'm sorry. 40,000 acres. 40,000 acres is a lot of land. With a $100,000 house, if they were to take that house, tear it down, 40 acres, they can put $1 million house per acre. Was that like 44 million? I mean 44 billion? Like 44 billion acre, I mean $44 billion for that land that Tyler Perry has his house on. Like crazy numbers. And when you really start talking about that, like on average, most guys are not going to be able to afford a house like that. Even when me and my wife, when we went and got the house, like I literally was trying my best not to get the most expensive house, but something that's look good and decent that we can stay in. Because like I told my wife, I'm thinking about the future. If I lose my job, we still can maintain. Like we still can literally maintain. Like we still can literally maintain that my wife is working. I go pick up a little small job. I go pick up some part-time and still pay the bills. Or vice versa. If she loses her job, I could pick up a little job and pay the bills. Everything still get paid. But to the point where if we get a crazy expensive house and it goes off for both our incomes, and people don't know the term of being house poor. If we house poor, how is that going to help being house poor? Us being house poor, that's not going to benefit us because we one paycheck from being on the street. One time my wife got sick, she couldn't work for a whole year. I went and got me another little part-time job. I worked like 6-7 days sometimes. But the point, everything was paid, nothing got cut off. We had, I think, one car we had a car note on, still paying the car note, didn't get repossessed, none of that stuff. And everybody was in my wife family, because nobody really said that to me in my family. Everybody was coming from my wife family like, are you okay? How are y'all taking care of the bills and she's not working? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, isn't it hard for you to pay all the bills by yourself? No, not really. Why would it be hard? And I'm just like, I couldn't get it. And that's the thing. Like, if you live above your means, that's how you're going to live. You're going to be struggling paycheck to paycheck. Most of the typical times, you spend money along your paychecks and stuff. And a lot of people are not saving. You're not saving for rainy days. If something was to happen, you don't have no money. Situation happened where I had to sell a lot of my stocks and stuff. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. When it comes down to it, a lot of situations with with us having our money, saving, dealing with the right people, you know, making better choices, you know. Yeah, I mean, it comes to a point, and I was just talking about my brother. I was talking to my brother today about this, and I was telling him, I said, family plays a big part. There was this apartments that my aunt used to stay in, and they were Section A apartments. And I told him, I said, man, you know, they closed them apartments down. And he was like, for real? I said, yeah, man. A company bought them out of Florida and gave them a whole, yeah. I mean, they sit there and had the whole, I'm talking about they literally whole apartments. And they gave them a whole year. Then 6 months came. They told them again, hey, y'all got to hurry up and get out of here. 3 months came. They say, in a month or so, we coming with the trucks. The last 2 weeks before the apartments were closing everything down, I think there was over like 30 families. And them apartments, they were big. I think there was at least close to 75 to 100 some apartments over there. And it was like 30 some apartments still over there. And I'm like, you don't have no family, no friends, nobody you could have stayed with. They wasn't taking your money. You could have been stacking that money and putting it down on another apartment. You know? And especially if you had Section 8, all it was just the thing of transferring over. You know? You losing the apartment, transfer over. And even with this thing with the mindset of people, it comes down to a degree with this. Like I was saying earlier, you literally, like with me and my wife had 2 kids when I first met her. And the craziest thing with her, I had no intention on dealing with women with kids no more, because I always looked at them as being money hungry, majority of them, you know. And they didn't have a relationship with me. They wanted the relationship with me and the kids, and I didn't even know you first. That was one of the biggest things I liked about my wife when we first started talking. And I didn't bring it up. She didn't bring it up. But the whole thing was, she said, I want to get to know you. Like a lot of the women I dealt with, the first thing they said was, you need to have a relationship with me and my kids. Let's start with me and you first, and then let's work on the kids. First, me and you have our relationship. It works out. I already tell people, the kids are a package. If you don't want to deal with the woman's kid, don't deal with the woman. I tell dudes that all the time. I say, because that's a slippery slope. When it comes down to it, if you love that woman, you gotta love those kids. And if you don't like the woman, don't deal with the woman. I mean, if you don't like those kids, don't deal with the woman, because you're setting yourself up for failure. Because ultimately, if y'all go into a long-term relationship, y'all have this relationship work out, the kids are coming whether you like it or not. And I hear these guys saying that, send the kids with their dad. I'm like, you have no heart, no compassion. If that dad was a good father and that lady needed some help, I know 100% she would send her kids with the dad, knowing that those kids will be in a good situation. But you know why they're not sending them? Because most of the time, these guys are not really there for those kids. And let alone, what woman would send their kids with the dad like that? Those kids came out of that woman. That woman loved their kids to death. Black Tropical, what's going on? How you doing? How you doing? But when it comes down to it, it's crazy. Like, and then the matching of the mindset, that's gonna be hard, because I always speak on this. I say, man, it's literally too many relationships that we passed up on, or it's too many relationships that we didn't give a chance to even blossom or grow because it wasn't moving fast enough. And nowadays, I'm telling you, it's 10 times harder. In my opinion, it is literally 10 times harder for a good woman to find a good man. A man might can find a good woman if he try. Because the good women are out here, and a man can find them because most of the time you gotta try harder than the women do. Because there's a sea of a whole bunch of women that's, I would say about 80% of the women have this stereotype about themselves that all the men think most of these women are like. So if they go through one, they seen them all. But then versus with the women, you can kind of get into a situation like a guy that carries himself a certain way. You don't want to deal with that type. You're older, you're wiser, you're smarter. You don't want that stereotypical type of guy. And that's the thing. Like, if you want to, I always say this. With a good man, a woman knows what she has to do to get married, without a shadow of a doubt. A man, I always say, well, the women are too combative. You already know every relationship you've been in, you're not going to be like that again because you want to be married. So if men say, man, she always like arguing. She always did. So you might want to start listening. You might want to just be quiet a little bit and don't blow off the handles. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Like, you're going to tell somebody you got kids, but their whole thing is getting to know you. Like, if I don't like you, the relationship not growing anyway. It's not going anywhere. So it has to start with you, me having a relationship with you. And that's why I say Callie Pooh Bear, when she was on my channel yesterday and she was talking, it's funny because that's the same way me and my wife got to know each other. She said that her husband didn't date women, like her size and stuff, but it was the same thing with me. Like, I like taller women. I like, my wife is short. My wife is petite. When I first met her, she was petite, short. She gained a little weight. I would say she might get a little taller. But, the point of it was, like, she wasn't the type of woman I was interested. Like, I have a small, like, little preference. But other than that, I don't even look at that as my prototype or my certain type of woman, because when it all, goes down, I try to figure out that person and that character. That's who I deal with. Like, you can be the best woman for somebody else, but not for me, because you could be fine as all outdoors and all that. That don't mean nothing to me. You could be the best looking, best dressed. That doesn't mean anything to me. Because at the end of the day, if you ain't got the inside right, I can't deal with you. And we was talking about that yesterday. My cousin had bought her dad a coffee mug, but she wrapped the coffee mug, and I think about 15 boxes. Like, each box got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Yeah, that's the thing. You can be a good woman and not a good wife. Jigs was coming on. What's going on? But, I mean, it comes to that point, though. Like, when she had all those boxes, 15 boxes to get a coffee mug. And Callie Pooh Bear was talking about this yesterday, talking about the outside looks so immaculate, but what's on the inside? And that's how she said her husband dealt with her, because of the inside. They came out as friends. He was like, oh man, this woman is different. Black Tropical, you said that about your story with you and your husband. Like, the inside, where he was like, it's something different about you. And it comes to that point where, you get a person that's, not like the others. You want to see where this is going to go. And then to your degree, if it goes the way you think it's going to go, that's your wife. That's your husband. But people We look at the vanity and the veil. Like, I'm showing you a representation of me on YouTube as being this honest, loving person, has a family. I could be a drunk, I could be an abuser, but I'm preaching to the choir because I got an ear. I could live my life on a wild edge. I could have about have about 10, 15 women I'm dealing with. But you never know. That's the veil which everybody brings to each other. I'm showing you what you think you want to see or want to hear. I'm showing you all this stuff. Like, man, I'm a good man. Man, I just need a good woman. This inside, you know what you are. You know what you do. But who's actually speaking on that? You know, even when I talk to a lot of those guys, like I say, starting off with the manosphere and the YouTube, like I said, I literally thought a lot of this was going to be about men working and helping with each other. Then it kind of turned left on me, and I'm like, what's this? You know? And it comes a time to where, you know, you have a lot of issues in these relationships, and it's crazy because the issues in the relationships screaming from you not getting yourself right. Like I always say, man, we know what we gotta do, but we literally just don't do it for the simple fact of us just trying to be what? Just like everybody else. I always talk about society standards. Society standards telling us we got to get married before a certain age. Like that whole Kevin Samuels hitting the wall at 30. So women hit the wall at 30. What age do men hit the wall? We gonna have that talk? You know, if a standard on a man, it's got to be, I mean, if it's a standard on a woman, it's got to be a standard on a man. Well, a man peak more in their finances as they get older. That's true. The older you get, majority of the time, the more money you make. You know, that's true. But to a standing, what are you going to do with that money? What are you going to do with that situation? Because you date a younger woman, it might work. She might divorce you because she was only there for the money. You date an older woman, she might be just there for the money. So what standard are you going to have in approaching a woman to marry? You know, are you going for the looks? Those are mainly the ones that probably take your money the fastest. You know, like, when it comes down to it, what are you prepared to do in life? A lot of times that people say, write this stuff down. I say this, for the most part, it's got to be in you, not on you. That's one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't look at. It's got to be in you, not on you. I'm not showing you who I am on the outside. I'm showing you who I am on the inside. That's who I married, the woman on the inside. Whatever type of woman I wanted, that was the type of woman that was on the inside when I married my wife. I laugh at people when they talk about dealing with women with kids. I'm like, why y'all say that? Like, my thing is this. If you don't want a woman with kids, why talk about it? If you don't want a short woman, why talk about short women? Just like women, when they say, man, I don't want no short man too small. They can't fight, they can't protect themselves. They can't this, you have all these issues with a short man. Just say, you know, I prefer a tall man, and just let it be. If somebody asks, say it. But if nobody don't ask, why you gotta announce that you want a tall man? Just say, well, you know, I got different standards of, you know, different things, and I like. That's all it is. I don't have to bash someone just to kind of say I like this or I'm this and that. I just don't deal with it. Just like when I told guys, when they be like, man, this single mom stuff, this and that, and I'm on the panel with it, and I'm like, I'm married. Y'all say single moms don't get married. I married a woman with 2 kids. Y'all say that them relationships don't work because the baby daddy's always gonna get involved. But me and the baby daddy, we talked. I had got the dude on the phone and we talked. So this whole division with the kids, my wife, and it was funny because my wife, she literally didn't want me to talk to him because she was like, I know how he's gonna react, I know how he's gonna do this, and I'm like, nah, I'm a man here, man. We gotta talk because I'm gonna be around his kids. So say the least, if anything was to happen, you know, I don't want no smoke between me and him. It's like a third party. No, I want you to directly call me. If you got an issue with me whooping your kids, doing something to your kids, you call me directly. I told a story about my daughter. She tried to have division between me and her dad because she did something in school or said something, whatever, and she didn't like the way I responded to her, you know, and she was just, I don't like it. And, she didn't say, you ain't my daddy, because she never said that. She just said, Mama, talk to my daddy. Okay. Pulled out the phone, called him. Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, man, your daughter had a little issue and this and that. She want to talk to you. She was shook. You know why? Because I called him. Even if she was calling a bluff, I called her bluff. I gave her the phone. He was like, what you do? What's going on? Well, Rashid did this and, he was like, what's the problem? Well, I just don't like, it ain't about the way you like how he talks to you or anything. That man is taking care of you. You should respect him. Okay. What could she say? See, that's why I always laugh at most of these guys and they be like, man, dealing with these other men, kids and this and that, because you don't got no relationship with this man. You don't talk to this man. Both of y'all, those are both of y'all kids now when you with this woman. If you can't have the conversation with this man, you gotta do a third party. Hey, baby, call your baby daddy and tell him this. Hey, baby, call your baby daddy. No, if you can't have a relationship with this guy and talk with him, be like, hey, man, understand, I'm not a bad person, but I take no disrespect. That was the first things that came out of my mouth when I talked to him. I told him, kids do not run the household. Just plain and simple. My daughter had no push on that. End of discussion. Because as a man, I'm going to stand my ground. This is my house. I pay the bills. I take care of things, And that whole thing too, I really do need to get off of here. But me and being the leader of the house, that woman still got to say so. My wife make the say. There's never going to be a relationship if I was with another woman or, not with my wife and with another woman or with my wife. Women always have a say so in the house. If I run the house as a dictatorship, it's mainly just for the kids, not for my wife. Because when it come down to it, it's relatively stupid that I don't run things with my wife being involved. If something was to happen to me and my wife died, if I die, how is she going to run things? She has literally no idea what to do because you do everything. You pay all the bills. You got hidden accounts she don't know about. I got a folder in my house. I joke with my wife and I tell her, don't mess with this folder till anything happen to me. I got accounts. I got business deals I did with friends, money they owe me, all in this folder. And I update it every so often to make sure everything is correct. So if anything happened to me, my wife would be like, such, you had a business deal with him, you owe him $5,000 in this deal, and you owe him monthly occurring payments. There. Bank of such, my husband had an extra account in here that needs to be this and that, is that account still relevant? All his life insurance in here. Any little business deals or something I got. My wife has to know about this stuff, has to run the company, how to run things, do things. She makes decisions too. A fool and his money assume part. If I'm the man that's running everything and I'm telling my wife, Man, the lottery's so expensive, man. I'm finna take $500 out of our account and go play the lottery. I know we gonna hit it, baby. The odds of me hitting that lottery is slim to none. And then me taking $1 million, whatever. See, I gotta go. But the odds of me hitting the lottery like that is slim to none. Like, the crazy part, why am I not having my family deal with this? What's going on? Kane in the building, Kane the God. Man, I gotta holler at you, bro. I gotta holler at you. And see, Kane the God, Gold Professor, these are the two guys I met off of YouTube in real life. Real cool brothers, man. I talked to these dudes offline. Talking about, man, some of the coolest dudes you can meet, man. And that was the thing with me, trying to meet people online and like have the conversation to be cool. Not that many people you can deal with like that, you know? And I'm gonna jump off anyway. You probably can hit me up because I'm finna get ready to run in this warehouse. Yeah, I need to jump off, man. I've been on here about an hour 20. It's supposed to be like a 20-minute walk. I did my walk today. You know, shout out to everybody. Join the movement. I'm doing the hashtag. I searched around, tried to see if anybody had this hashtag. What is it? Here for the grind. I almost messed up on it. Here for the grind. Yeah, that's the hashtag. Here for the grind. But say the least, man, I'm about to jump off of here. Shout out to everybody that came through. Everybody hit me up like, hey, bro, come on through. But it is what it is, man. Like, this relationship talk, it's gonna go up and down, but you gotta find that place within yourself. You gotta understand who you are, how you moving, how you dealing with things, and go for what you know. Because who gonna be in a circle that's helping you provide for yourself and do things for yourself but you? So having an understanding, like, I gotta take time out for myself. I can't be in relationship after relationship after relationship where it goes for a man or a woman, and you ain't even got yourself right. You know? And shout out to Gold Professor. Man, I don't even think I have all of them written down. With the 9 laws of self-govern, I used to know them by heart off the rip. Law number 1, discipline. If you ain't got no discipline, you can't do nothing. If you ain't got no discipline, you can't eat, you can't do a diet properly. You can't even go to work properly without discipline. Protection. Law number 2. If you don't protect yourself, nobody else gonna protect for you. You know, protecting your mental, protecting the physical. You know. Law number 3. Apply selfishness. You gotta apply selfishness to benefit yourself. You know, you gotta literally apply selfishness to benefit yourself. You know, law number 4, exercise. And just plain and simple. Not exercising the body, you gotta also exercise the mind. Law number 5, read. Read the room. Read books. You need books to read to enhance your mind. Law number 6 and 7 are interchangeable. Know your worth and know who you are. If you know your worth, then you know who you are. You know who you are, then you know your worth. Law number 8, build something. There's so many things going on. You got to build something, preferably your mind, to the point where you can sustain. And above all else, law number 9, plant these seeds and be patient. There's a lot of people, man, they want ready-made families. They want ready-made dudes that come in your life with all the money. You got to plant that seed with that guy. You got to plant that seed with that woman. You know, sometimes somebody might be in a rough patch in their season of life and they just have no outlook, but you see that, you see the glory, you see that finish line with them. I tell my wife that all the time. I say, I see so much potential in you, you don't even see in yourself. You got to understand, it starts with you and it spreads abroad. But I plant that seed and I'm patient with her, and she's blossomed into this flower. Same thing for myself. I plant seeds for myself, goals, accomplishments I want in my life. I'm patient because it's coming. I always talk about me getting apartments. I'm gonna get my apartments. You know, I'm not gonna be no slumlord. I'm gonna be a good landlord. Because I used to be in apartments. I lived in apartments before. I know how the people run those things, and to a degree, it's 50-50. You cut too many corners, you spend more money that way. But my biggest thing that I tell people, man, it's it's always the truth, man. You got to do right for you. But until next time, shout out to everybody. You know what I always say? We here and we gone.